Thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me here, everyone, and good morning. This is my second time around at 1 Million Cups, so as Joe said, it didn't scare me away at that time. So I'm back to give a little intro to Popwallet for those of you who are new to us, and a little recap on what we've been up to since the last time I spoke here as well. I'm going to try to start with an AV masterclass here. So this usually doesn't work. We'll see.
By 2020, more than 5 billion people will have a mobile wallet on their smartphone. Yet this real estate has so far mostly been used by credit cards and boarding passes. Popwallet is here to change that by helping marketers get in front of consumers at the point of purchase. Now, brands can create and personalize their own cards, dynamically update them with new visuals and messages, and amplify them with lock screen notifications based on location or time of day. A self-service card builder makes it simple to create content of all kinds, from gift cards to loyalty cards to deals. With a card builder, a brand like American Eagle could drive sales with the summer promotion for 20% off all purchases. Using the Popwallet platform, they could create a Pop Deal card for online redemption, making it easy for shoppers to save the discount to their wallets and redeem the code at checkout. Then they could track the campaign's progress using a self-service dashboard, which provides full analytics to help marketers attribute card usage on an individual basis. Popwallet helps marketers close the loop between communication and conversion. Now dozens of brands are using Popwallet to be closer to where consumers make their decisions, inside their mobile wallets.
All right, thank you. That's my presentation.
Very nice.
All right. So hopefully that gives you a little flavor of what we do and who we do it for, but I'll go through a little bit more of this in terms of where we came from and what we think the opportunity is in the mobile wallet space. So my co-founders and I came from a mobile advertising background, and we were kind of in that early phase of mobile advertising where every app would have these banner ads in it. You've seen them, you hate them, I'm sure. And it worked really well if you're a game developer or a utility developer, flashlight app or something like that, but it did not work at all for retailers and brands. And what we found is that trying to drive actual commerce from mobile advertising was hard. My co-founder came from Flurry Analytics, a company that saw more than 2 billion devices worldwide. And that gave him a unique insight into how consumers were interacting with mobile content and this challenge for brands. Now going forward back here. Can't get past my first slide.
It's on the last slide. It was playing behind you.
It was playing all the way. All right. I told you it'd be quick. So when we started looking at how do you drive conversion opportunities for brands and retailers, we looked at that last step, the missing piece where somebody actually buys something. That's actually important to an advertiser. And we found a unique solution out there. And it's this idea of the mobile wallet. These mobile wallets that are ubiquitous and available on pretty much any smartphone today, but have been underutilized for the purposes of driving transactions beyond things like boarding passes, where a lot of people have seen them. So we think about mobile wallet as an opportunity, as a combination of some of the capabilities you might get from building your own app and the traditional outreach you might have with the CRM system or email marketing. And I'll explain that a little bit more. So mobile wallets are out there and pre-installed on every Apple device, almost every Android device today. So the reach is there. And one of the things that we set out to do with this company is not build another app that people have to download. So the idea for Popwallet is we're going to leverage this built-in channel for mobile wallets and not require our customers or ourselves to build and market and get an app out there. Because that's hard, it's expensive, lots of brands have tried it, and even the ones that really believe in that will admit to us privately that only about 5% of their customers are ever going to download that mobile app. So the opportunity is there to reach these people through this built-in mobile wallet. And once we do that, you can engage with them. There's a number of features in the mobile wallet that enable basically the same type of communication you might get through an app, where you can opt in to receive notifications, updates, content can change over time. You might have a follow-on offer for your 10% where it's 20% off next month. Pop that up on the lock screen. And then as a retailer or a brand, you can measure the behavior there. You can measure whether people are actually consuming that content, using it, bringing the barcode in store and scanning it. And that allows a marketer to close the loop. So our platform has multiple components. We enable the creation of mobile wallet content. Through our platform, you saw some of that in the video. You can distribute that basically anywhere you can put a link. So we create a link that's going to work for an Apple device, an Android device, even on the web. If you get a link in your email that says save this to your mobile wallet. You can then manage the updates and notifications behind that content and do your conversion tracking and analytics through our platform as well. All this is powered by an API-driven system. So if you don't want to use our front end to it, you can use your own. You can plug in your own loyalty program. You can plug in your own gift card program. All this to leverage what we're all about is this mobile wallet piece of the puzzle. So the use cases that we talk about building within the platform, Pop Deal, that's any kind of a coupon or offer. Pop Loyalty is a loyalty card, any kind of membership behind it. Pop Gift being a gift card, surfacing some kind of stored value account, similar to a loyalty card in many ways. Pop Access is a use case we've seen a lot of retailers use, even for things like VIP events in store, a kickoff of a new product or a new brand. We worked with Prada in Art Basel, Miami last year to have a special access pass through the mobile wallet that people could present to get into the product club. And Pop Brand, which really became a catch-all, and we've seen very creative ideas from our customers around that, things like recipes or product launches. And they can be designed and look however you want them to within the templates that are available on Apple and Google Pay. For a marketer, what this means is you're generating valuable data about your interactions with your customers, everything that you can use for further decisioning in your marketing process. So this could be A/B testing, this could be retargeting, that you could find out who's interested in buying your product when they get $1 off versus who's interested in buying your product when they get $2 off. So tracing that consumer journey and seeing how the customer engages with your product or offer over time. So as an end user, you would find this pretty much anywhere you would find content online. It could be an ad, it could be in an email, it could be on Facebook or Instagram. You'll see an opportunity to save something to your mobile wallet. At that point, that experience is then powered by Popwallet, where we present the ability to save this to your mobile wallet. You can then view it later in your wallet, or more typically, you would actually get a pop-up, whether that's location-based, maybe you're near the store and it reminds you that you've got an offer to save 20%, or if you are, if there's a time-based notification perhaps where an offer is about to expire. So as the brand, you might say, remember you've got this coupon you downloaded, it's about to expire, come in store, get your offer. So that's the engagement piece of it. And then conversion is really taking that up to the register or using that online any way that you're actually going to make a purchase. So that whole path between finding something on the left to actually buying or engaging with that on the right. So the good news for Popwallet is, and this is a much busier slide since I presented 18 months ago, which is great. We've been working with some great names, both directly and through our channel partners. And it's really across the gamut of retailers, brands, some restaurants there. We've done a lot of work with Wendy's in Canada for some reason. And where I think we're seeing a lot of traction right now is what you might think of as the the typical mall retailer, someone who's got a nationwide presence perhaps, and is looking at how do they really keep boosting that foot traffic? How do they get people to come into the stores when so much of the purchasing behaviors and discovery behavior is moving online? So that's where we're working very closely with companies like Tumi, The Gap, and others to power those kind of experiences where people feel like they're getting something special on their mobile phone that then drives them to actually come in and make that purchase. So one of our big strategic initiatives, particularly for this year, is around channel partnerships. I think when I presented 18 months ago, we had two of these names on there. It was Snapchat and Oath, which is now rebranded as Verizon Media Group. And those are kind of ad sales partnerships for us. So that's one aspect of that. And in the other corner, we're very excited about partnerships with the likes of Oracle Marketing Cloud. And so to explain how that works a little bit, these marketing clouds work with some of the majority of the Fortune 500, Fortune 1000 companies, and power all of their email marketing activity, SMS marketing activity. And what we want to do is plug in Popwallet to be this additional point of entry for how you can reach consumers and kind of orchestrate as a brand this experience across all these different channels: email, SMS, mobile wallet, and just make that a key piece of it. So we're excited that we're launching our first customer. It has, I believe, 26 million loyalty members, so I'm sweating a little. Coming up at the end of the month here. So good news and bad news. As a case study, in terms of how this works for our customers, we look at somebody like Signet Jewelers, K Jewelers, that you probably know from the mall stores. They did a promotion with us where they offered, I think it was a pretty good deal, something like 30% off. So that drove actually more than 2,000 jewelry purchases through this one campaign. And for them, that if you factor in the money they spent on Snapchat and the money they spent with Popwallet, they actually made a 7 times return on ad spend from that. So that's great. You put $1 in the machine, you get 7 out. That's good news. So to wrap up, Popwallet is a St. Louis-based technology company. My co-founder's in New York, but here in St. Louis, in fact, 2 floors below us, we have a team working day in, day out to create this platform. We're excited to build it here. Excited to be in T-Rex. And I'd like to thank the St. Louis community for being so welcoming to us. From I-10, I see Melissa back there. And T-Rex has made this our home. This is our second office. We're on the 6th floor, and now we're in the cool 3rd floor, so come visit. And over the past year, we've also had an investment from Cultivation Capital through their Spirit of St. Louis Fund, and worked through the 630 Accelerator program. So if anyone has questions on those, please see me afterwards. I'm very happy to share my experiences there. Very cool programs for entrepreneurs here, and especially in the fintech area for 630. And I've just had a great experience with 1 Million Cups and working through a number of the different programs that St. Louis has to offer. So appreciate everyone's time and interest, and hope to answer your questions. Great.
So please wait for the microphone so the camera can hear your questions. So who would like to begin the question?
So, first
Is this
question.
about the donuts?
Yeah, I was going to ask about why did you bring donuts today? You and I have known each other for a couple of years now, being here at T-Rex. So I've seen you kind of grow over the 2 years. So over the 2 years, yeah, no, not this way. So for the time you started, what was it like as far as generating revenue and of course investment dollars, venture capitalist dollars, to where you are today? How much have you raised and where do you stand today as far as revenue?
Sure, good question. And I'd love to stand here and say it's been a straight line and it's just been up and up and up. But that's definitely not the case. And I think any entrepreneurs in the room know that that's not a typical experience. I have metaphorically been on my knees begging for money for this company at several points over the last 18 months and before. But when there's a will, there's a way. And I feel like what has kept me going, what has kept us as a business going, is that the opportunity here is just so massive, and we're getting enough customer traction to show that. I think it's still early, and I think that's something that as a startup founder you have to be realistic about, is that something that I know is a good idea is going to take a while to catch on, and so being able to show proof points like that K-Jeweler study for us, getting a customer the size of this shoe retailer that has 26 million loyalty members signing onto the platform. I guess what I'd say is revenue is a trailing indicator for our success. But that said, last year we increased revenue 6x versus the year before. We're on track to do that again this year, and that's going to drive further investment in the business and further customer traction. So I'm happy with where we are. It's taken a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get there.
And donuts.
Hey Wes, thanks for the shout out. Thanks for the I-10 shout out, and thanks for also resisting the urge to just say things are easy, because we get a lot of that, and I appreciate it when entrepreneurs actually are authentic and talk about the hard part. But can you just build on a little bit this last question and just talk about kind of the balance between raising money and going after sales? So how much of your effort, percentage-wise, would you say you're focused on getting revenue, and how much are you, because I think sometimes people are so focused on investment and not actually selling the product. So I'm just curious, how you spend your day most.
Right. Well, it's a slightly different question for myself versus my co-founder and CEO.
Okay, so as your team, yeah.
But listen, if we didn't have to, we would spend every moment on sales. And I think that's how you grow a company, is building the product and gaining customer traction. Money is a necessary piece to fuel that product development for us, and really, the dollars that we generate from investment go to pay the salaries of the engineering team. That's pretty much what it is. The sales guys hopefully will pay for themselves, sales guys and gals, and where the main cost for a business like ours at this stage is in the engineering side. And I have a list that is many quarters, many years long of feature development and product roadmap that we want to do as quickly as possible. So, we're running as fast as we can to meet the customer demand as people evolve their idea of what they would like to do with Mobile Wallet. So we want to be that one-stop shop for what they want to do with it, and plugging in to Oracle today and Salesforce tomorrow and a number of these other marketing cloud systems is key to us. So, to come back to your question, I think the fundraising piece of it is important to sustain the business. There's no need to raise more money than you need, but it's nice to have a little bit of headway to know you can just get down to business and do what you need to be doing on a month-by-month basis.
Hey, great presentation. Can you talk a little bit, it seems like, if this gets really successful and people will have tons of these little kind of cards in their wallets. So it seems like it's a little bit tied to Apple's built-in wallet system and Google's built-in wallet system. So you're somewhat reliant on those. So if they have any sort of regulations on that, so maybe if you could talk specifically, as being the CTO, what are your thoughts on that, and how are you working with them or warding off, because at any time potentially they could regulate it and stop it maybe. So how are you guys dealing with that?
I think there's kind of two questions that we get asked a lot. One is, what's the platform risk? That's a fancy VC way of saying, is Google or Apple going to pull the rug out from under us? And everything we know about this ecosystem, everything we know really about Apple and Google as well, and their approach to this, they make money when people use their wallets for payment. So they're very encouraged to have more people looking at their wallets, more people using their wallets. Apple Pay Cash was a huge piece of Apple's last presentation. So everything that we're doing that helps drive eyeballs to the wallet and cement the usage of that as a purchase channel, they benefit from. So I think from that, I think we're able to answer that question pretty well. Your other question is really around, what happens with that, with the regulatory infrastructure there. And I think that it certainly has some implications to us. There are things that we can't do in the wallet. You can't power, by Google and Apple's regulations, you can't power tobacco. You can't power firearm sales through the mobile wallet. Not sure we'd want to do that anyway. So there's a few things like that. We have to be very cognizant, especially as we take this globally, about things like GDPR, things like coming California privacy regulations. That affects not Pop Deal so much, but some of the loyalty programs where we're storing and holding people's names and membership numbers and things like that. So there are concerns to be addressed there. I don't think there's anything that's going to fundamentally change the nature of our business there.
Great, yeah. Sounds like you guys are aligned.
First of all, thank you so much. And I was looking at your website last night and was like, oh, I can use this Apple Wallet for more than just, as you said, my boarding pass and my credit card. And I was looking at my wallet being full of all these annoying cards that I've had to bring places and be like, oh, wait, do I have my Schnucks card? And now, recently, it's been driving to, hey, could you please download the Schnucks app? And so I feel like you're really solving a problem that a lot of people have, which is wonderful. My question, and it's, first of all, so your design is beautiful. I think everything from your website to how the app works is very attractive. My question is, what do you have intellectual property or something that will keep someone else out of the space? So not so much that the question that, oh, will Apple or Google ever stop you from doing that, but from someone else coming and just jumping on what I think is a brilliant idea and going that way. How do you deal with that idea?
I mean, to be quite frank, we don't. We neither have intellectual property, nor do we think that's going to be important in this market. But what we feel like we can cement here is very much a first mover advantage, and this is going to be a huge market. There are other players. We're the only one in the U.S. that is solely focused on mobile wallet. We have some competitors like Urban Airship has come from kind of a push messaging background, and they added on mobile wallet. We feel like we're in being a pure play in this space. We can be front of mind with folks like Oracle, where we're not competitive with them on any other front, Salesforce and others. And then one of the things that we are developing some intellectual property around, I don't know if that's going to turn into a patent per se, but is really around consumer manufacturer coupons, which is a huge opportunity and is something that you can't go to a grocery store with a mobile wallet coupon today. It just doesn't work. It's because they rely on a paper-based system. That's changing. We're part of the standards bodies that are making that shift and that change. So our hope is to be front of mind when somebody in a year's time, 2 years' time, is launching their first Cheerios coupons that you can use in any retailer anywhere through the mobile wallet.
Thank you.
Great, this is an incredible story. Congratulations. I wonder if you could talk a little bit more about your channel strategy. Lessons learned, things that have worked well, things you might change, wisdom you can share.
So yeah, if we look at the channel partner slide, go back to that really quick. There's really two types of channel partners that you see up there. One are media companies where we're basically enabling their sales team with the tools to sell mobile wallet backed campaigns. And it's been a slog, actually. You know, the difficulty there is you're trying to align what we do, which is really about CRM in the big idea space of it, with somebody who's selling a one-off campaign. And so we'll see a lot of traction from those guys around Valentine's Day or around Christmas special offers, but the continuity is not there with those channels. And as a startup, you want that, right? You want the monthly recurring revenue to not go like this with your partners, or not go like that with your partners. Basically, parking there. Where the opportunity really lies for us for that kind of arrangement is with the marketing cloud type partners, where that can be really a monthly recurring subscription fee based on activity, based on the volume of their loyalty card membership, for example. And that's where we've seen a lot more traction and a lot more alignment with the sales teams within those partners. So, answer your question?
Yep, thank you.
So if you want the word to get around about this, like more people know about it, personally, do you think you'd want to spend more time on commercializing and stuff people know about it? Or would you want to spend more time on like sales and so that kind of grows bigger so people can kind of just find out about it themselves?
That's a good question, and I think, you know, as founders, we're always thinking about the trade-offs between those things. So, you know, in the long run, I think there's an opportunity for this to be a self-service sign-up. You pay $100 a month as a small business owner. You know, a mom-and-pop restaurant could use these tools. Right now, we're not there in the process of educating a customer, the process of actually going through the sales process, the integration process, is a lot more expensive than what we would regain from $100 a month. So we're looking at the bigger clients, kind of, you know, call them the enterprise or the you know, Fortune 1000 companies out there today, and that's really our choice. And so we're then managing our marketing strategy around that. So a lot of that is word of mouth. A lot of that is you know, getting in front of them through these channel partners where they have these trusted relationships already, versus, hey, we're Popwallet, we're 9 people, you know, you're a massive company, why don't you work with us? That works sometimes. We've had a few very innovative companies say, like, they've got an innovation team, we're going to try this, we're going to plug you guys in. But for the most part, they want to see it working for someone they trust, for someone they know, they want to recommend it by someone they trust. So rather than kind of spamming out with marketing dollars, which frankly we don't have at this point, we're trying to leverage those channels.
All right. Well, I've got 2 questions. First off, how did you initially, could you tell a story about how you did initially kind of break down the doors for these larger companies? Because so many people come in for these presentations and say, well, we'd really love to work with, you know, this Fortune 200 company, and have no idea how to actually get in the doors. Could you talk about that a little, like one of your big successes or unexpected success?
I mean, they just saw my smiling face. And
Yep, yeah.
No, I think the biggest thing there that's helped us, and this is my advice to other founders in the room, is get advisors who can help you open those doors. Get investors who can help you open those doors. In the same way that as a small company, we can't, we're not going to come off as credible to you know, a massive retailer. We're not going to come off as credible to a Facebook or an Oracle or Salesforce who literally have thousands of startups knocking on their door. So you need to be recommended. You need to be you need to have somebody vouch for you, and that not only is this an innovative product, and here's how it could work for you. We can tell that part of the story ourselves, but you know, I trust this team. I trust these people. You know, I've worked with them either as an advisor or as an investor. We've gone, you know, we've under the hood with their technology. We know that this works, And that starts to build that confidence to say, all right, we're going to put you in there. Another thing that's actually been useful for us on a completely different note is innovation contests that a number of these companies run. So look for, Twitter's a good example of that. We were chosen as a winner of their innovative advertising products, and that opened the door to us getting in their partner program. It takes a while to come through that door, but that's in progress. So a number of the larger companies will specifically have programs where they're looking to work with startups, and not just, and you got to do some work for it. You got to figure out how can I address exactly what they're looking for in this particular program.
Thanks, Wes. That was worth the price of admission right there. Yep. Final question, and I'm taking the last one, is what can the community do for you? What are you looking for right now?
Well, let's see.
Should be ready for that question.
I've got my free tea from T-Rex already, so no, it's we're still venture backed. We're looking for angel investment. We're looking for further funds to get us the product investment that we need to get to the next level. So that's always an opportunity. But really, I think it's a two-way street. I think we've got to get back to this community and build up this startup community in St. Louis. As that stature of this community becomes higher and higher, it's a better profile. It helps float all boats. So,
Totally.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Put your hands together.